Before going on to that pencil drawing I said we were going to talk about, I thought that maybe we'd spend a little time talking about this Canaveral plate, which is certainly one of the finest ones. Let me go back with a little story. Several years ago, an Asian collector came to visit me, a very famous Chinese collector who specialized in inkwash paintings. He collected inkwash paintings, Japanese, Chinese, from all different periods. And he was very, very much a fan of Frazetta's Canaveral work because of the technique, excuse me, the sumi inkwash technique that Frazetta was using on these paintings. He walked into my study and he stood in front of the wall where all the Canaveral plates were hanging, and he bowed. And he started to say something. And he said it in a very low voice under his breath. And then he stood up. And I said, "What was that all about?" And he said, "David," he said, I was overwhelmed. He said, "I had to say a prayer. I had to acknowledge the spirit of the ink. There was so much life in this room. There was so much life in those drawings. It has to be acknowledged. It's important to do so. A prayer has to be said." Now that's what I call having a profound impact, art having a profound impact. So in any case, all collectors that have come to see me, they all have their specialties. I take them around the house, we sit on the couch, we look at pieces of art. Everybody says, "Oh, I like this one the best. I like that one the best." One that comes up with great frequency, obviously Tarzan, Lord of the Savage Jungle, first video. Obviously Tarzan and the Castaways. Obviously the cover to Tarzan at the Earth's Core. But this one also comes up with great frequency, where 3 pterodactyls are attacking a saber-tooth. What a wonderful design. The composition is seamless. It's kind of a revolving, self-involving world unto itself. And it couldn't be more beautiful at the same time. And that incredible expression on the saber-tooth's face. How dare you attack me? And so it's just a wonderful piece to stand in front of and to contemplate. Frazetta's animal work is simply unmatched. I mean, he's famous for drawing women, famous for drawing babes, barbarians, burros, all the usual categories. But when it comes to his animal work, I don't know anyone else that draws animals better than Frazetta. Go back once again to that Tarzan and the Earth's Core cover with the saber-tooths attacking the mastodon. Just unbelievable, especially for something to come directly out of his imagination. Same thing with this. Most of these drawings, all the ones that I've been talking about, Frazetta did very, very, very slight thumbnails as studies for them. He had such a clear idea in his mind of exactly what he wanted to do that once he got down just a little stick figure, a little form, then he would draw them. I actually published an article in an early issue of Illustrators magazine, and I called that article Frazetta's Little Miracles, and I talked about Frazetta's Canaveral plates. This is one of the pieces that I highlighted in that article. You can either look up an old issue of Illustrators, or on my website. I think I did a reproduction of that article on the website. So take a look at it. Not only is this a sensational piece, but also there's a little virtuoso touch that Frazetta hid in the piece. If you look at the very bottom, there's just a slight suggestion of earth here. And Frank put that in there just to try to ground the composition so that it wasn't give you the impression of creatures floating in space. That little grounding right there just transforms this whole piece and gives it a believability that it really, really needs. And once again, Frazetta was always striving for that kind of believability. That's the one quality that he took from Hal Foster, because the Hal Foster Tarzan strips always were very, very believable. They were realistic in a very believable way. Frazetta took that, enhanced that, and gave it more intensity, gave it more presence. So once again, easily one of Frazetta's finest productions. Thanks again for listening.